control, that is disconnected from spirit and...
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posse. Spola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system, irrigation, and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released represent with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is a war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the Golem, bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Did you fart? Did that come from outside? Somebody still outside fart?
Nah, bro. Come on. Nah, come on. You almost there, bro. You almost there. Survive. Survive. Push up.
I do it bad for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide down. Blue sky but high ground. My crown slash helmet, so my aircraft stealth spit. Can't be tied down or even seatbelted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked the cause, my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. It bust off of some ices and veil shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Hot body for real monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, use a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly, though haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're Hiller man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow our set standards. To catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated while I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dated space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in there. Nick Cage's face off after the shape the stages of fate. A fraud. Battlestar Intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel, or flat bandit. Mohawk aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lies what your fans get. Your world's in perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. And only go for the cracker. And go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand that. That's why you niggas better stand deep.
That's why a lot of these Masons and all these other people are just worthless motherfuckers, man. What are they saying? What are you saying? You just sub? All right, good. I'm old school with this. Yeah, you know, I got so many of these, I decided to use the fuse, the Doze ones, because it locks and everything. Oh. So the coffee is much darker for those who don't know. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I was going to make 2 to show you the differences, or 3. Mudwater is kind of like, Mudwater kind of looks like Doze. It's kind of real dark. We'll let it charge up. I really like these. I really like these little mixers. I prefer wood over steel or aluminum. I never really use the word aluminum. I use aluminium because that's the compound of what it is. Okay. Let it play a little bit. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Indigo Flamethrower, what's going on? What's happening? Delusions. Yeah, I'm gonna break some things down today, y'all. This is Doze, man. I've had it already, but I still like Rise better. But it's good. That's when you add cinnamon to it. I put a little bit of the honey tea brought. I put a little bit of dark honey in there. Wind's blowing a little bit over here. I need to open the back door. Push to the music. We'll get it going. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. I just want you to listen to everything, brother. You know. My lives, man. If you go and look at my videos, man. You know, you remember I've been doing this stuff since like '78. Even like in high school, when I used to mention Top, it's actually pronounced different, but we'll stay with Top, right? I used to get in trouble in high school, all right? Check out what I'm talking about. My soul ain't got process. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big mistakes come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is fine or whack. Here's a big thing. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Now. I did a video so I can show those who didn't see it. All my loadouts and stuff. I'm not going to put everything out there. Somebody says, what about your 6.5 Creedmoor? I was like, who are you? Like, so right now, the ATF is seizing muzzle devices. What is a muzzle device? Let's just go ahead and get it in. Music been playing for almost 10 minutes. Let me show you what a muzzle device is. These homosexuals are funny as fuck. Now, I'm not worried about them. I'm just saying, and I'm not against everything or whatever. You know, you use it for suppressors and everything. So the muzzle devices, for those who who build rifles, it's what we call flash suppressors. That you can't have a big burst of fire, and it also helps give a little more guidance because you get some with holes on the top, whatever.
them going around seizing that just shows how lame and retarded they are. Now, what I wanted to get into, I'm traveling embarrassed here. That's our brother. He does a lot of good work. I've been on some of his video lives and stuff. I want to bring him on a couple of our podcasts. Well, like I said, hereby, I was hoping by the end of May. But it's going to be around the first or second week of June that I want to be out of here. Mushroom coffee with a tablespoon of cinnamon and a tablespoon and a half of honey. So we'll get into Thoth in a minute, but my thing first, because I wanted to cover some of this stuff, because I want to read a little bit of facts as facts. Right now, Rondo saw what I've been saying from the get out. They got videos. My videos are all live. When I'm loading them, it says public. When I load it, it's got a lock on it. So I got to go in there, edit, and unlock it. For the new subscribers, appreciate you. Hopefully we can get everybody else over here. I said on my other page, which y'all are still in lieu of those, you can go over there and say, hey, look, on that page, I made it because that's why y'all moderators. Some of you can manage moderators. But you can also say, hey, look, share my stuff saying they are blocking red based on a fake fact check, because I have the information showing that I didn't say nothing wrong, didn't lie. It's because the CIA, the government runs all these platforms, all right? And the fact that I know more than they'll ever know, all combined, even with their little jump booty buddies, who like to come down and do stuff in Peru and all that, stealing people's faces and testing and see what chemicals do with their little devices that aren't hard to make, that can lift a person up 100, 200 feet. Of a pulse of what you would think is air, but is actually something else. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not here to divulge that. None of you are ready for that. Okay? None of you. So you don't need to know that. Now, there are people up there sharing it and talking about it. When I first saw the video, I was like, who had the nerve to share this? Like, don't be stupid. There are some things you don't need to know. All right? What you need to know is how to ascend. Don't go into the damn light. Don't come back here. Unless you actually know what you're doing. And most of you have not acquiesced that. I don't care about meditation. Most of those Hindus, they don't know 90% of the scrolls and everything else. All right. I need y'all to realize that, and I've said this, you've got UN soldiers all around you. You've seen them all of a sudden pop up in the hospital. A lot of Gujars, Hindus, a lot of Asians, Malaysians, a lot of people part of the army. And what y'all don't know about those who have never served in the military, when you train and you're with a certain group of people, it's the gang mentality. It's the pack herd mentality. And when you're given orders and stuff, you fall on them. But the thing is, in most militaries, not all, you're supposed to have a moral conscience to say, not today. That's why most of our wars ended. It was because of us, not because of the people back home. When brothers knew that most of our people in World War I and World War II and some of the other earthworms were being murdered by a lot of these light-skinned individuals who don't know no better because they're the bottom feeders. All right? When they started shooting them and murdering them, hundreds of thousands of our people were murdered and killed. Hundreds of thousands, if not million, were murdered in World War I and World War II. And in between that, because we saved Ethiopia, not Haile Selassie, fake ass. We were the ones who assisted down in Haiti because our fighting prowess being, I think it's over like 150 to 200,000 of us being taken to Haiti. This is the history, and they later become Maroons, which is hidden. We assisted in the fall of the first emperor, Gujar, or fake Jew, in Cuba, which they were sacramented, and because we were fighting melanated people who made a deal, half-breed or not. You'd be surprised how many pale skins are running around who are our people. Just like China and everywhere else. It was us and the people who were from us. When I broached upon reading 100 Years of Lynching, I said, it's funny. There's other books showing that in those same yards, under those same houses, there were light-skinned people murdered right along with us. They cannot have that in order to have a fake white superiority claim. Well, and the fact that when they talk about Black Wall Street, created by the narrative created by a fraudulent gay whatever, like W.E.B. Du Bois, sellouts, traitors who were more European but forgotten of who they were because they were conquered and came to displace the people over here. They were murdering the light-skins who were with us. Y'all still say white. You need to stop. Y'all don't really get the importance of power. And we have a lot of ignorant fake people who don't know nothing other than what they've been given and grafted into. You have not taken the opportunity. We don't have to be opportunistic because we created everything. When I proved that we created the internet, I had this little pasty boy called, I said, so you're Peckerwood. I said, up until 1948, up even 50, you called yourselves crackers. You know why? A little white but brown, but you don't get it. You're melanated, you're just not as melanin. Why? Because you don't create oxygen. All right? And this is not hate, but they want to get caught up in a world of error called science and math, which is fraudulent because it misdirects. See, the problem with our people, while they can't ascertain nothing because there's nothing about it that shows order, and the ones that do, they should tell you about the bloodline. How many of y'all go around and ask their brothers and sisters, what's your blood type? No, I really want to know. How many of you think they're being honest? Some people say, well, I know some people AB, but that's from us. Now, when you get into the other ones is where you get into a conundrum. Now, this is not about hate. This is about how things will play it out with them being in a rush. Always, everything right now you see is in a rush. All right? And nobody wants to ascertain that. But why are our people in a rush? Because they've been misled. Look, right now, they gave you Puff Diddy. What else they gave you? They gave about 100 of them, but you don't even see it. They actually, this is how the media, they lie. We don't need Trump to say that. He was divisive too. We knew, those of us on this side of town, we knew Kamala Harris was not black, was not Negroid. She's a hybrid, a Gujar. Both her parents are Hindu. Worked for the UN. She's not even an oath. Don't swear on it because there's 2 constitutions. And even there's a third one based on a government that's underground, that's moving around you. Why is it that we all these certain melanated people want to fight and everything, and with them being with them well knowing that the Zionists who occupied this government after murdering their brother Lincoln, who was our king. Okay? That's right. I said it. There are 3 books that point out to him being a king. And then 2 more presidents you would think were light skinned were actually melanated but looked the part. But they didn't want to partake in it because they had big mamas and stuff. But y'all don't research that. You only research what's at the tip of your nose, not even to be able to see beyond it, and then looking beyond it without even recognizing you got a nose there. I've been doing this for so long, it's become tiring. But then 6 years ago when I accepted who I was, the whole vernacular changed. When I tell you that the living will envy the dead, I am not playing. So you either better listen, you better stop attempting to play catch up, put away egos and everything else. Stop arguing with people and move beyond it. They've got enough fake Jews who are going to come around and try and argue, which is meaningless. All I'm going to do is stare at their pocket while they give fake laugh like this, that, and the other, and they want to lay hands on, and I'll investigate them. It's not about violence. I don't advocate for it. You got to wake up. Right now, they're tampering with stuff. When me and Rondo were looking at it, it said 4 something. I went and took a screenshot. I didn't put no time. I just set up the live and leave it and wait for people to come over because I know that the scary asses are going to do what they're doing. Somebody says, do you believe they're working with giants? Dude, let me tell you something. Do you think these fake ass Jews, the Arab, Theodor Albert Herzl, the Arab, and all his minions, Arabs, Gujars, Gypsies, that's what they are. They're not even Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz didn't want to do this to us. The Ashkenaz, they had to murder them off, their own relatives, the bloodline, and then take all these identities to hide this. Do you think they figured this out on their own? Now, I want somebody to talk to me. How many of you ever sit down and talk to a flailing ass, fake ass rabbi, fake Jew? How many? And see them subversion and everything else. They are so fraudulent. And it's not that they're hiding a secret. You've got enough dumb Negroes, and I say that platonically, meaning in what it actually means, not in the thing that y'all think means credibility. It only alludes to the fact that they had to hide who you truly are. But those of you in the Bible and everything else, a lot of you fake religious people crack me up, and yet you don't read nothing when you go to Genesis and look at the progenitor of the dark race, but not the Negro. Yet he comes from Shem because he's damn sure not from Yaphet. And they have a hard time dealing with this when they want to look at the times, how they changed stuff over the last 20 years, with Shem being the elder, but all of a sudden becoming pseudonym next to the youngest, who was Ham. And that's why the Africans, they always try to lift them up. Like, look what they invented. And every time you look at it, they're making some old rinkety-tank ragtag. And it's not cursing you guys. A helicopter, a car, electric, dude, we made those thousands of years ago. We're the true authors. This is the Republic of Tartary, or Afriel. We are not just because of the serpent mounds, the serpent people, but we're more than that. We were the dragon slayers, the dragon riders, and dragon controllers. Dragon doesn't mean what you think it is. Well, literally, it doesn't mean some fake ass dinosaur. That's a rewrite, that's a reconstruction, that's an Orwellian factor or Mark Twain staple of narratives. I know it's hard for people to accept this. Most people are just starting to realize that Napoleon Bonaparte was melanated. Well, how so? Didn't he betray his cousins? Oh, or did he? King Leopold's great grandma was what? Where do you think hate comes from? Right now, you've seen it. For those of you over 40, you have watched 2 to 3 generations come into this world. Remember, I said every 30 years is one generation. So 90 years in a century, and they're made up century because I don't do time, right? You have 3 full generations, and under that, you have what? 9 generations. And yet y'all want to sit here talking about X, Y, and Z, not really understanding what's going on. Misinterpretation. The fact that FD40 yellow or red or yellow was created out of human fetuses, and yet you still got sisters and people running to go have abortions. But Margaret's saying is, when I say diabolical, the 5Ds, duplicity is dangerous, for Black America, which we are not Black, which alludes to being dead. You have idiots still putting Black in their name, this, that, and the other, don't want to change it, not realizing the energy they're giving over. So when you get into Thoth and Inky and all these things like that, when ye are gods, what is it alluding to? Do you see, if they really wanted to do something other than playing a tournament with you because they've chemically lobotomized you, they lowered you, our testosterone levels compared to the 20-year-olds is stronger than theirs. We can still make babies, the majority of us. You would think that, why do you think the Japanese women and Chinese women are really getting with us? And the Hindu women are coming to us because of religious fanaticism. It's not a lot, but it's more. Why do you think a lot of us get with Spanish sisters? They're our bloodline, regardless of what you think. Regardless of the Hyperborea, what's been happening, how they came to Spain, whether they call themselves a raza, this, that, and whatever else, those are movements. And regardless of those who were murdered, you've got to remember there were 2 distinct people here. Different shades of brown and our lighter-skinned brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter how they looked. You can play that game, and that means you're playing in their pocket. You must disperse that because Cathay, which we call land of She, and those people that left were melanated and light-skinned. And then they were conquered. And infighting ensued by the children of one generation, 3 generations of one generation in a century being misdirected and led, just as you saw in the last 4 years with the education system, based on 4 years of education, all the way up into college, to create the nonsense you see that now. And a paycheck goes a long way with individuals, doesn't it? In their ignorance. Why is it that people have a hard time interpreting these things, putting them together? I know it's like, okay, well, I'm going to sit here and listen, but what am I going to do? No, I can't stand here because who is this individual to put this together like this? It's not meant for everybody. Is not a storyteller, but only in their own mind or on their own right. It's not meant for everyone to tell a story. My great-great-uncle sat down. Uncle C sat down and told us the story. Uncle Tandy only sat in the background, as tall as they both over 6 foot, 6'7", 115, 114 years old. They were younglings when they fought in this fictional Civil War. And they said, they don't know where these pale skins do. We had some stuff with us, school. He said, who are these pale skins fighting on our side? They weren't on our side. We were fighting people coming off of boats all over the place. And I was telling y'all this. Our Great Sea was fighting everywhere. We had great ships too. Our star forts were falling because of young ones who were like double agents, betraying the people, murdering, poisoning people at dinner, this, that, and the other, all for this fake reward. Otherwise, you wouldn't have people like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all these other monkeys who are probably European Negroes, but they're from our stock. This is the misnomer. The Eritrean people, the Dogon, those are our brothers. Even the original people in Bangladesh, the ones with dreadlocks and froze, those are our relatives. The original Russians, the Abkhazarians are our relations, the Hatak people and the Anu people of the Anu Islands are our brothers and our relations. The original Australians, the people murdered by the French and the British on fake Easter Island, which is a slap in the face because that's not what it's called, and all the other thousands of islands that all of a sudden mysteriously they're pulling up in front of you because they've been using them for experiment with people missing. But here it is, Pop, Inky, and all that stuff. You got to deal with something returning. And for those who still been here waiting, some people say, well, if you know the fact that your father said we were giant killers, the Chickasaw, never defeated. I know our stories well. For the band, the battalion, the legions that we wore. Tartary is a composite because we were the Republic of Tartary. And wars bring many differences, indifferences, and people grow tired when the beauty of living is what they want. And when people are willing to lie to promise life, and people are weak from eating polluted waters and eating polluted foods and waters, attempted to sustain something that they don't know, they fault themselves and they fall a victim to and fall away from. How do you think we got here? The fight is still within you, but you refuse to come together. You want to create sacrilege and hold yourself to a little community of 10 things, whether it be children, relationships, this and another, instead of getting with the bigger picture saying, no, I'd rather be with 1 million of my people and they drop a bomb than being out here where I could be scavenged. I shouldn't have to say that on here. But like I said, not everybody really knows anything. Y'all have belief structures. Unfounded, unsound, but because you've been grafted in, and the freedom of ideology and narratives to think that you could paint your own portrait without knowing but then have to converse that you're free. First of all, stop using the word free. Stop having to push a narrative to fight with something that was never meant for you. When you should be standing on your laurels and your morals, 10 toes down, 10 fingers up. The 515 is ruling you. Ascension, the better incorporation of removing feelings, desires, and emotions. You don't need the word desire to have a fulfillment of a relation of compilation in mind, thought, even in theory for discussion. While they're lying and you're capitulating to fight that battle of lies, who the does that? They've been building themselves up, making an army ready to suppress you and harm and hurt you. And you think you're ready? Now, Netanyahu, that sociopath, already says, if anybody attacks Israel, what's going to happen is going to be total annihilation. This goofy fake president ain't no president of this land. At any time, he can go and push the button and launch nuclear missiles. They got him on some high drugs, and they got a lot of stand-ins. If I remember right, the president has anywhere from 4 to 6 body triples, doubles. They even had one time where they used a mechanical one created by the Disney, what you call it. Why is it that we have to have all the answers for these things outside of us? Is we need further convincing of who we are and what needs to be done? Is that what it is? You had Farrakhan mislead you to do a test for the feds to show that they could bring 1 million men together. I think it was like 750,000, probably 1 million, but they wanted to use media to deploy these tactics of psyops to create a delusion, because you did have sorry Negroes, and I stood around some, oh man, what's he doing? I remember saying, oh man, y'all, this is a test. Nobody wanted to hear it. Dumb Negroes just wanted to go back to fighting each other, warring each other, trying to get rich, like ToLU'S said in this song. Wanting to get rich to be better than the next one. What are you attaining and gaining? It's like when you look at the cartels, all the murders and everything created because of the CIA and FBI and the ATF and everything like that, and the fact that they wanted to destroy our people, because our people wasn't doing all that crack and shit. Or everybody else, the Pelskin, all of them were freebasing like a mofo. How do you think Richard Pryor got involved with it and so many others? Even Red Fox was known to, and every once in a while, hit a hookah with a rock a bass on it. You think I'm kidding? Y'all really don't know nothing. Just because I'm part of the Hollywood narrative and music, and I'm not part of the industry, but because I've been around it all, I've listened. When I was selling that weed, I sold a lot of bricks of weed. I got to see some things, smell some funk, walk around in buildings with big white and black polar bears. You walk in and there's a woman like 50 years old with the finest ass body standing there looking like Roger Rabbit with the negligee on, talking about, come on in, carrying 4 bricks of weed. I go up in there and I know I'm gonna be there for 2 days. So I got my look, y'all. I have my orange julep. I have my my Old English. I have my own stash, my own couple of ounces of Jamaican sesame and purple, you know what I'm saying, and Jamaica gold. I had my weed, so I knew it was going to be a whole night of festivities of this. But that was after witnessing the freaking party. And I'm like, I know not to go in them rooms up on this ledge right here where these stairs spiral up. I know not to go over this ledge over with this dude look like a woman's getting bucked right up there, the light spinning, and I'm drinking my orange julep, sending somebody to give me some wild Irish rose because I need something stronger, and some damn Thunderbird, or some Night Train, smoking my weed, 16, 17 years old, her slobbing on me. I don't mean it but pornographic. I'm being an adult here. I'm talking about it when I was a youngin'. With this woman finding a mofo and then saying, you know what? Everybody's pretty wild up on pills and everything else. Microdots, you name it. They was in there and it was like a what and a who. And I couldn't wait to leave. I was like, look, I'm going into your master room. I remember I carried cool 380 Walter PPKs. All right. I went in there and chased these two little homos out, and I ain't gonna say their names, and part of the hip hop industry. And then she came up in there and we rocked and bought, because you know, by that time I was angry and I really wanted to hurt something. And in the morning, it was just, I just got up out of there, got in the cab, and went back over to North, made my way back over to East Orange. Y'all don't really get it, man. There's evil in this world beyond the scope of which you can even imagine. But that evil's it's a cowardly evil. You're starting to see a lot of sheriffs, a lot of doctors, a lot of school teachers getting busted by independent people because the police, you already know they're part of it, getting busted for pedophilia. When these are the marks that take the hit because they're careless and reckless. You're starting to realize that all departments are corrupt, that they have their own constitution, their laws that they follow. But because you choose to stay where you are, because a lot of you are very envious of others, you're very selfish, you don't even know why you are, you need to remove those dialects and you need to come back together. You need to get away from where you at, because that energy is going to hold you captive. So when you think about Thoth and Inky and this, that, the emerald tablets, what's real, what's not? I'm going to tell you it shouldn't even matter, because you're not prepared either way, my beloveds. All the enemy could do is hide things. Now, just because I know how it ends doesn't mean that you're not supposed to act upon a certain thing and do a certain thing. It's funny how in certain countries, they're not spraying nothing and people are willing to go fight this, that, and the other, and over here, and everybody's sitting around like this because they got you so scared and so wound up. 6 months to become some old punk ass cop, and I got many homies who are cops who are wonderful people, and they always tell me, man, I got to work with some goofy punk motherfucker, and I'm like, then why are you still in that department? Because it's hard to find one where there's no weak punk motherfucker, so I got to make the best, and they don't mess with me. I'm hearing this a lot, y'all. Okay, and they say, yo, there's times when they send foreigners, they put on a costume, speak English good like you, and they just want to jump on you. They don't even know why. And you think you're safe. It's what it is you're lazy. And I'm gonna hurt some feelings. You're lazy. I don't need nobody sharing no information to me. I don't need nobody thinking they're schooling me, giving me something. You can't share shit with me, and I need y'all to be mindful of that. Now, I'm a person that work with information. It's one thing to ask me. Another thing, when I start seeing me doing what they do on these goddamn platforms, because you're scripted in, you're fucked up, you're caught up in something. Right now, I got like 5 people sharing all this goddamn goofy ass information with me. Stop it. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to embarrass you. If you wasn't doing this shit from the 70s with people who were from the 1800s teaching you, don't you share not a goddamn thing else with me. If you haven't read at least 30,000 fucking books, set your ass in about 50 libraries around the world. Talk to people in the 90s, 100s, and the 80s. Stop sharing your fucking garbage with me. I'm not going to give every piece of information. You've got to work things out. Pressure. What is it? I've said this before. A lobster, a crab, most shellfish, what do when it's time to molt? They have to shed that hard shell so they can grow a little bigger. Or it might be damaged. Right? What does the eagle do when it reaches 40 years old? It has to pick off its beak, but before it picks off that damaged beak of 40 years, it has to pull its talons out because they're damaged. But first, it must pluck all its feathers off, looking like a hairless parrot without a beat, which is the last thing they go. And then it must wait for 2 weeks to 2 months to regrow those things to have another 30 to 40 years of life. And here y'all are. Not even knowing the relationship between the wolf and the crow. Speaking in false riddles created by the enemy when there's much more than what I'm saying. Whoa, so much more. If they were smart, they would stop. Ergo, if I said if. I want to read a little bit more Facts of Facts. I can't give a whole lot of everything. Let things be. I'm going to read DNA. This is what I'm going to read later on for those who don't know. And I have the Book of Thoth and all the emeralds, Carls. I got so many freaking books. But I'm going to read these two. So if you don't mind making sure that your notifications turned on and remembrance, I can share this. People already know I was reading this. And I will go ahead, and both of these in both books refers to each other. So we can understand certain parts of wars and this, that, and other. So I'm going to read these two as they should be. There's a third book. That one I'm not going to read right now because you're not even ready for these two. You're going to listen to to Mr. Carls. What's that guy's name who running around? Come on. He's still talking about the earth being a spinning ball. Please. If y'all want to waste your time with people like that are conscripting your head, well, he's doing that just to play it safe. Dude, he's been part of the viewing test with the CIA. Come on, y'all. Those is good, y'all. Mud water is too. Those though has a coffee taste. So most people, like Baby Girl saw, most people don't realize that the coffee taste is what people want to get away from because it'll keep you there. It's like when I chew tobacco, but I also have nicotine, which is pure, real nicotine. But I only want to do that when I don't want to have the chemicals that are in the tobacco. But lately I've been getting some pretty decent tobacco, even though I know what they're trying to do with it, with the mRNA and all that, whatever. That's their business. I don't fret over that. But as staying on the same topic, I want to make sure I want to bring in later on this evening, because I want to have a late read when I want to read about the Boxer Rebellion. And I already shared pictures that Facebook had to take down because I was showing you melanated Cathay people and light skin compared to the Chinese who were being 1001 cuts. I'm talking about people darker than me and you on these crosses, and ones like this hung up and literally being cut, and with these new Mongols who went and conquered the land, and the pale skins who would later come over there to shoot and get rid of the original people gathered up in alleyways. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, no, it's not about hate. Everything has its reason. But it was to get rid of the original people, to which most of the time they just took the women and raped them and made a new people. That's why I don't argue with a whole lot of so-called Latinos, this, that, and all these other individuals. You got to remember the Scots and Irish were called the white niggers. Y'all forget that, do you? Because of the way they came out after raping the women, which were more in lieu of the original people here that look pretty much like Australians. Well, at least the pigmy people of the Louisianas, the Mississippis, and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And the fact that we call North and South Carolina North and South Kakalaki, because the real Carolina is the island of California, which is Carolina. And that over there are these new fake made up states. Because when people say 13, I was like, well, there was 12. Where does 13 come from? This is delusionary to bring themselves into the fold, to call themselves the original people when they are frauds. You think I'm lying? Did I not show it on a map? Why are people not researching this stuff? Everybody wants to be this, I got the information first. People still running with liberal Negroes, playing Indian, calling themselves Indian, marrying Mongolians, this, that, and other, who want to argue with people and be disrespectful, talking about, well, I'm African, when even the Africa's a made-up term. But they want to call themselves Africa and everything else, when this is the true Udean of Atlantis, this land right here, the place where it all started. After the fall, we branched out. Even during the starving times, it seems like we were helping everybody around the world. Just like in the fake-ass wars that shouldn't have been happening, because the Crimean War was a test to see what would happen, and also the fact that they had to destroy the old world. because they had to bring some things back in. Our giant bells were not only for the healing of the earth and a beautiful thing to keep the hemisphere. It's like burning the fire, what do you call the Greek fires of warning? It's the bells. How come they had to take our organ and take it to the Vatican? That had over 6 million tones. The fact that they want to mention now, yes, tones heal. You can regrow your teeth with certain frequencies. Da 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 da. To when I've been saying this all the time, but nobody was listening because everybody thought we were equals. You're not me. You can never be me. I'm so fucking different. But the thing is, why does the people have a hard time accessing this? Because you're worried about some fake ass governments who keep dropping the ball and messing up, fucking up. No, they know exactly what they're doing. It's you that keeps dropping the ball and fucking up. I got everything here. Selfish as your life. I got what I... How many times we've offered people a land, you know how to work a heavy machine, this, that. You motherfuckers got to wait until the last fucking minute to go, all right, I'm coming. Yeah, the Pelskin can go in Texas or in fucking Utah and say, look, I got 150, 300 acres. Everybody coming. Everybody runs over there. But you niggas, why I got to get caught up with y'all worthless niggas? Because you're still caught up in the liberal mind state. I got mine. I got mine. Look what I went through. Like, fuck what you went through when there's babies dying by the fucking hundreds of thousands, if not millions, being served back to you in fucking fruity drinks and everything else and in your food when you've got things going on all over the place. And I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm saying researching. But you don't get it. I asked, hey, donate a couple dollars so I can buy books. Because I remember when I opened a bank account, everybody's seen the bank account. I says, hey, y'all, every week, y'all give every payday, y'all throw 100, man. I'll go out and buy 30 or 40 acres and give you all the plots of land and say, hey, look, this is for you, this is for you. Come on in and get your hot tent. Let's get together. Let's build. Let's dig. No, you are selfish, low down, no good. You have become exactly what they planned. And even in the frolic of becoming autochthonous or indigenous again, stepping back into your fold, it's not like you ever wasn't. You still hold on to everything that's arbitrary and that devalues you because of your foolish fucking way of thinking, believing, that means less knowing, that you know how you're thinking. Stand right the fuck, that is the purgatory, as if you can't clean it up later if you get everything together. You motherfuckers are not tactical. You don't think wise. You look at what you've done. You haven't done shit. How many of you have had over 1,000 fights? How many of you have several black belts? How many of you have sparred with some of the greatest boxers of all time in the world? Trained under them. Had them in your family, like my grandpa, Dynamite Charlie Wright. How many of you been in movies? How many of you, listen, it's so fuck your egos. With Gilly the Kid and all them little monkeys sacrificing this, that, and the other so they can have a bag. You see the way they talk and how they act? I can never be around them because I don't advocate violence, but I'd push their shit in. Guaranteed. But y'all sit right here with all the warnings, everything shot, and y'all can't even free yourselves from what they have incorporated you into. You heard me? Incorporated you into. I'm going to my brother, 27, about a good 12 to 16, 15, 12, from them about 12 hours to my other brother's got 100 acres. And I don't give a fuck if we was to dig a hole on the ground through rivers and everything. Something's got to happen. And it's going to fucking happen. You can stay right the fuck where you at. For those who are like, well, when they let the missiles go, then fucking fuck it. Then the weak living will envy the fucking dead. So if you're that quick to want to take all the things you've attained and gained and fucking throw it away, then what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you watching me? Cheap motherfuckers can't even loan. You can't even, well, I said loan. Well, it is like a loan because I buy books so that way I can read them and have them for the children so I can have a library. Niece got plenty of books. People got books. Some of us double. We can have a live fucking library. I got books that I have to get from my family. I've got like, holy shit. All the books. I got so many books that I bought from overseas. They're probably worth a good arm. I don't keep everything here. I got books in my shed. I got books under my bed. I keep books right here And I have people who like the gunfighter canon, people like I have like about 15 books or 25 books out that, you know, when they get done reading, they return it. See, y'all don't get it. I got people from Jersey, a handful. It's a handful. I don't want to pick a hand, who actually moved over this way. And I says, well, be careful. Just know where you're moving to. What are your plans? What are you going to do? I says, but don't share it on this. I said, you let me know where you're at. I can have somebody, you can give them a little message and they'll get it to me. And they were like, okay. Only 3 did. So I sent by certain individuals back to them in a letter what to do. Now he won't open it. It's got my seal. And they get it. It was sealed. And they're like, damn, who is this person? Don't worry about it. And then I give them some advice. But you motherfuckers think you know me. I got plenty of land in the Carolinas, in Florida. Why the fuck I want to be where they're going to flood? They gave y'all a tsunami warning because they need you to build it. They need you to be nervous and think maybe the tsunami is going to come, which y'all know about geoengineering. You people have not become factual. You've become actually part of that diorama. And you having a hard time. Look where you at. Oh, motherfucker, I'm not fretting about it. I'm not worried about it. God damn. The fuck does worry mean? Have any of y'all ever looked up some of these words to see what they actually mean? How about S was an F? How about we want to get to the literal shit? The fact that the spell cast upon you is so strong that you become the illusion itself. Damn, that charged up quick. This is green, blinking all in my eye. It's well charged up. That was quick. Let me go and read some of this facts and facts. I should have read that about 20 minutes ago, but you know how I get on the roll. So anyway, this is, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Galatians 4:16. Facts are facts. Benjamin H. Friedman. Here's the book. I want to read just a little bit of it. For some of you who didn't see it yesterday, they try to be slow with the upload and everything. They're really pressing themselves. It's so fucking funny. Well, let's go ahead and get in here. I'm not pressed. I told them just let me be. I'm not, look, yeah, okay, I might be the quiet guy in the room that you want to keep an eye on because I'm the one that's not going to say something that's pretty much going to protect. You know what I mean? But it depends on which way it goes. I could also hand my people up for being stupid. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The legitimacy of the quality that most of you have, but you haven't even tapped into. Because fundamentally, you think this way or that way, just like the system and those who have been incorporated into the lives they live. Pursuant to the divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer means you're divided and conquering yourself. Let's get into it. So, and we start here, and World War I had been started against Germany for no reason, for which Germany was responsible. They were guilty of nothing, only of being successful. They built up a big navy. They built up world trade. You must remember that Germany at the time of the French Revolution consisted of 300 small city-states. You got to remember the fake Jews, what they did to Germany while Hitler had enough of it was they brought everybody to brokenness. They had children running around the streets homeless. They stole most of the jobs and they were overtaxing people. And you see that right now. How do you go from 2% tax for corporations to taxing everybody that when you get a job, you get taxed on your fucking job? You got a fake ass IRS taxing motherfuckers. They don't arm them up so they can come and rob people or kill them. All right. Then they taxing you on the food. And then even on the food, when you buy the food with the tax, you pay the tax at the goddamn counter. See, this is what I'm talking about. But everybody's talking about the fake white folks can't do nothing without us. They're not white anyway. Because they won't fix this. They'll say they're rebel rousing when somebody come like, well, used to be fake Jews or a fake Jewish woman. They say, oh, that little Negro. And that was for the land, the property, and the banks, the wealth of ours on our land. He had got tired of it, the homosexualness and everything. And he stopped it. And he had many Jews who were still in his camp. That's why we know it's a lie. And they say the winner race. No, the fool who didn't win nothing, but played a role in the background is the one that writes the story because they're the ones that need to hide themselves. So anyway, they built up a big navy. They built up world trade. they must remember that Germany at the time of the French Revolution consisted of 300 small city-states, principalities, dukedoms, and so forth, just as here. 300 separate little political entities. And between that time, between the times of Napoleon and Bismarck, they were Napoleon a Negro. I'm saying that to allude to the fact that he was very melanated, actually very, very dark, darker than about 20 shades of me. And between that time, between the times of Napoleon and Bismarck, they were consolidated into one state. And within 50 years, they became one of the world's great powers. Their navy was rivaling Great Britain's. They destroyed it, and they were doing business all over the world. They could undersell anybody. They can make better products. What happened as a result of that? There was a conspiracy between England, France, and Russia to slap down Germany. Now you got to remember all these goofy motherfuckers, the youngins and our middle one, they conspired against you. But they had to use what you used to control that you weren't meant to mess with. Some of our people mess with things they weren't supposed to. On the introduction of them, that's how Atlantis fell. That's how the Republic fell. Let me fix this right quick. That's a nice little breeze right there, right, Papa? Well, I'm about to eat like a king, man. Let's put this like this. Let's put a little lean on it. I know the mask scares everybody, which I don't care about. You need to stop being afraid. So, all right, so are you listening to me? Okay? Are you listening? Oh, man, this thing fell over. Come on. Yeah, that's good enough. So anyway, there was a conspiracy between England, France, and Russia to slap down Germany. There isn't one historian in the world who can find a valid reason why those three countries decided to wipe Germany off the map politically. Well, we already read who was behind it in all factions of government and the reason why. And then they want you to believe that Britain could promise them Palestine, to which we know a lot of those people in Palestine were crypto or Sephardic Gujar, their own fucking people who are half-breeds from many other wars. And this is why they call them Goyim. To them, they're nothing what they're a remnant of who they were. So they use them, and then they want to go and kill them. Well, those are the people who became Palestinians, the people on the banks of the line, and there were many people who were there. So they didn't want to make it. They don't care to make a difference. You see how they use everybody, usury, right? And they're a small number of individuals, yet most people don't see how they work because they indoctrinate so many. Look at how all people are ignorant. Look at when I was on what's the name's page, right? And you had the one goofy nigga in Philly. It's always some goofy, fake, wannabe tough guys. Always want to talk smack. Yeah, over on so-and-so, on I follow so-and-so, dick riders. Like, get that out your head, man. You can't make this up. I follow, Sanchez. But I was on Sanchez. He tried to mute the mic and be the control because he wanted to be the narrator to paint himself to put him in some place higher, to which everything he was talking I've been doing all my life. But Sanchez, I had to show him. You can't be disrespectful. You can be the little monkey in the barrel, but what you think you're going to get, I can destroy that at will if I wanted to. That's not what I'm here for. And I listen to this idiot trying to, I don't know about Tartary. I know Egypt. You know how stupid people can be. I don't say this to venerate hate. I'm saying facts are facts. Then there are things that are questionable, right? Let's carry on showing. Anyway, can't find a valid reason why those three countries decided to wipe Germany off the map politically. We know why. When Germany realized that the Jews were responsible for her defeat, they naturally resented it, but not a hair on the head of any Jew was harmed, not a single hair. Professor Tansel of Georgetown University, who had access to all the secret papers of the State Department, wrote in his book and quoted from a State Department document written by Hugo Schonfeld. Excuse me, my German is Russian. I'm German and Indian. Okay? Oh, yeah, this is good. Anyway, a Jew, Hugo Schonfeld, a Jew whom Cordell Hull sent to Europe in 1933 to investigate the so-called camps of political prisoners, who wrote back that he found them in a very fine condition. They were in excellent shape, with everybody treated well, and they were filled with communists. Well, a lot of them were Jews because the Jews happened to comprise about 98% of the communists in Europe. And who do you think created the fake ass goddamn liberal fucking party when our people was the original republic with dumb niggas who have been converted and consulted because of slack ass jawed fake secret society motherfuckers and worthless ass nigger preachers, to which you heard Creflo Dollar, you see TJ Heisen, even Benny Hinn came out and started telling the truth, and a plethora of other ones. And besides the one that got the check from Tyler Perry with his old evil looking like a talking about Jesus, you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, oh wow, I know. How do I remember all that? Stop asking something and do it yourself. Total recall. Jews happened to comprise about 98% of the communists in Europe at that time. And there were some priests there and ministers and labor leaders and masons and others who had international affiliations. Who do you think created the fake ass Greek fraternities here? And they used big niggas that was locked up, homosexual. Yes. Just like Stokely Carmichael was a fucking Fed, an FBI motherfucker. And he helped bring thousands of others and put them strategically in certain places where he'd script them out of his room in his basement and told them, you go over to this part, you go over there, you go over to North New Jersey, you go over to New York, Harlem. Yes. I don't even get into the ones that are hiding out in Africa because they know if they come back, there's certain motherfuckers that will get them. They went over there to get them, and they were always able to get, for some reason, you know how it is, hide and move. Communists in Europe at the time, and there were some priests there and ministers and labor leaders and masons and others who had international affiliations. Now, some background is in order. In 1919, the communists took over Bavaria for a few days. Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht and a group of other Jews took over the government for 3 days. In fact, when the Kaiser ended the war, he fled to Holland because he thought the communists were going to take over Germany. Now, do you know why my name has Kaiser, Klein, and Schaust? Why I know Europe is named after an Algonquin queen? And I said we are not different, but we are very fucking different. Anyway, Rosa Luxemburg and Karl Liebknecht, I forgot how to pronounce that, and a group of other Jews took over the government for 3 days. In fact, when the Kaiser ended the war, he fled to Holland because he thought the communists were going to take over Germany as they did Russia, and that he was going to meet the same fate as the Tsar, the Bolshevik. All of them are Jews. Putin's a fucking Jew. Think about Helsinki. So he fled to Holland for safety, for security. This is a hide. They're using who we are, as a veil to do the vile and wicked shit they do. I asked a couple of Arabs, Muslims. I said, why the fuck is y'all keep calling them Jews and talking about Gaza, this, that, and other? Gaza's a made-up name. That's not Israel, motherfucker. I said, y'all don't know nothing about the first several places before they settled on that with the Belfort Agreement. They thought about America. They said, hell no. They wake a beast up. They said Uganda. They looked at the Carib Islands. Y'all don't have a fucking clue. The smartest thing would have been to go to fucking go to the Netherlands or make it up somewhere over there in fucking New Zealand or something. But they're too stupid. They already got all their puppets and all the governments in certain positions. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. You want some facts? Well, let me read facts of fucking facts. Anyway, so he fled to Holland for safety, for security. After the communist threat in Germany was quashed, the Jews were still working, trying to get back into their former status. And the Germans fought them in every way they could without hurting a single hair on anyone's head. They fought them the same way that in this country, the prohibitionists fought anyone who was interested in liquor. Now you see how they went to police, fake ass police went over there and learned how to harm and kill people, and they come back over here harming and killing our people. But you motherfuckers want to stay separate with your children and your relationships like you're doing something. You're just waiting for shit to happen to think that you're going to stand up on the laurels like, I'm an American Indian, blah, blah, blah. These dumb motherfuckers don't care. Anyway, hair on anyone's head. They fought them the same way that in this country, the prohibitionists fought anyone who was interested in liquor. They didn't fight one another with pistols. Well, that's the way they were fighting the Jews in Germany. And at that time, mind you, there were 80 to 90 million Germans, and there were only 460,000 fucking Jews. About 1/2 or 1% of the population of Germany were Jews, and yet they controlled all the press, and they controlled most of the economy because they had come in with cheap money when the mark was devalued and bought up practically everything. The Jews tried to keep a lid on this fact. They didn't want the world to really understand that they had sold out Germany and that the Germans resented it. Who do you think selling the land to China, which they can't purchase or buy with a worthless dollar? It's the fake-ass Jews selling to the... Y'all need to know this. But no, you're going to stay right there in your little liberal states with your little fucking mindset, chemical dispersion, thinking that you're doing something, that you're big and you're brighter and you know what the fuck you're talking about. Ain't nobody going to say shit. They're going to come over, see my videos. They're going to start building shit, and they're going to take the time and wait. And by then, hopefully, it's too late. I'm telling you, I know this because I have too many people coming back to me telling me, Red, man, fuck. You be sharing, and then all of a sudden, all this motherfucker, a month later, he's talking about this one and that. When I was saying the earth was flat, there was nobody saying that shit. Told you I shared my story in the military. Lieutenant JG, a good friend of mine, worked out with, brought me up, had me look at the Saxon. He says, "Do you see anything?" Before I looked at it, I says, "Hell no, nothing but ocean, man. This shit look rough too. Maybe we should go down and batten our hatches." He says, "No, I want you to look through this." It's a good friend of mine. I looked through it. I says, "Nigga, there's a whole amount out there." He says, "How far do you think it is away it is?" I don't know. How far is it? He says over 300 miles. Nigga, we seeing 300 miles way over that way and all them goddamn ships riding on the top of the water. He says, "Now go on downstairs. Be mindful." Nigga, I went through the island. I didn't even go out to the goddamn what you call it? Because I figured I might have been in the I'd have been deep six in the sink. Mind you, I was in my 20s, very young 20s, I thought. But you want to sit here and see, you want to listen to people argue, debate. When I told people in Yiddish, my great uncles, that Nasa means Nasab, which means in Yiddish to fucking to deceive. Motherfuckers thought I was crazy. All these fake Hebrew movements, religious motherfuckers, consorts, mass pissed off constructs who don't know how to become who the fuck they are supposed to be. I'm not here to stop shit. But I'm going to find balance. Balance is going to happen regardless of whether I say something or not. And it ain't going to happen no faster, no slower. But we'll see. Won't we? They see this. Let me show you how stupid they are. They could have sit here and did something with me, which I can get from my daughter, my oldest daughter, whatever. I could have been sitting up on the hill somewhere in another country watching everything as it go down. Not saying shit. I told you they're not fucking smart. Anyway, let me highlight this. That's all I wanted to read. I'll be back on roughly about 3:30 so we can get into... I'm not going to read 100 Years of Lynching. Remember, we're going to get Margaret Sanger. We're going to get into the exposition and William Cooper and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I got to finish this one part because it's only a little bit. I have to finish this. I want to highlight it in the middle. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, hold on, Papa. In a minute. After the communist threat in Germany was squashed, the Jews were still working, trying to get back to blah, 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 right? Without hurting a single head. We already know this, okay? Now, we get to the 100. In fact, there was only 460 Jews. Now, the mark was devalued and brought up because they bought up everything. That was a statement, right? So the Jews tried to keep a lid on this fact. They didn't want, I'm just repeating, the world to really understand that they had sold out Germany and that the Germans resented that. Now, the Germans took appropriate action against the Jews. They, shall I say, discriminated against them wherever they could. They shunned them the same way that we should shun the Chinese or the Negroes or the Catholics. Now listen to this. Look, discriminated against them wherever they could. They shunned them the same way that we would shun the Chinese or the Negroes or the Catholics or anyone in this country who had sold us out to an enemy and brought about our defeat. After a while, the Jews of the world called a meeting in Amsterdam. Jews from every country in the world attended this meeting on July 1933. And they said to Germany, "You fire Hitler and you put every Jew back into his former position, whether he was a communist or no matter what he was. You can't treat us that way, and we, the Jews of the world, are serving an ultimatum upon you. You can imagine what the Germans told them. So what did the Jews do? How about the fact that we tell the fake Jews, you unask the truth of who the fuck we are, that we are the true Hebraic Judean motherfuckers, and this is the ultimatum. You get the fuck moving with everything that you accomplish, because we know that you want to bring on world destruction for your perversions, because you're a very sick fucking people. They are the sick yellow men of Asia. The Gujars, liars, Gog and Magog, murder they own, who are foreigners, aliens to this land. Delusions, Benji, Halido, what's going on, beloved? Tariq, tell everybody else to come over here. Go back in my videos, and I'm not going to go over there talking and stuff. Tariq, it's good to have you up in here, beloveds. Max V, what's going on, beloved? I hope this is good information. Snoo, that's mi amor, y'all. Indigo Frame Through, I hope it was informative. I hope you was able to Edda, what's going on, mama? How you doing, beloved? I just want to make sure that I hope that was good information. Scott Frenzo, salute. How you doing, beloved? I hope that was good information. I hope y'all share this with people. I'm not here to be demeaning. I'm not here to curse and banish nobody today. I'm not burning candles. Those are always going to be burning at both ends. The fact is, I just know some things. I'm not here to stop anything. But either you're going to get it together, you're going to send, or you're going to be in that perpetual state of darkness, listening to everybody pull you in, sucker you around, and put you in a place once they build the following, because it's all for a fucking dollar and ego. There's too many ego strokers out there. There's too many people who are narcissistic, and in the most subtlest of fucking ways. And most of you don't know that. The women are too overly emotional, which is destructive. That means they cannot contain and harness their power. And the men have been effeminized and fucking broken. That way, they can't be the strength to protect the power as it's supposed to be. There's no 50-50, no 75-30. It's 100 and 100. That's how it works. Okay? There's a unification. But the enemy doesn't like that. But y'all use these platforms instead of coming together to put these shits away and have the real conversations. You keep going to these little frolicking parties and communicate to be all YouTube fucking this, that, and the other instead of saying enough. Now I got to spend a few $100s appropriately. Go sit down with motherfuckers who actually know something, not to burden yourself further in the distract of this world of delusion that motherfuckers have, and realize that there's more to your existence. I'm not here to stop nothing. Some people will say, well, you can anyway. Well, there you go. I can anyway. So I can't stop nothing. There, we settled that. It's not about egos and shit. It's not about feelings and emotions. God damn it, that's what's got y'all where you at now, all fucked up. So donate a couple of dollars if you can, so I can go ahead and get. I'm not Gaddy Green. He pulls up great information, but that shit is easy to dig up. So I love that he does that. That's why I still follow him, you know. Go ahead, donate a couple of dollars so I can get a few more books. I ordered one book, but I didn't order all the books for the Flatlantis. So y'all know there was 2 more books. They're a little pricey. They're not expensive, but there's other books I need to get. I just got word that I actually sent 20 of the books to the 40 because I had to pay back the $666. 20 of the books are going to my friend who works at Gunfighter Canyon because I didn't want them sitting out here. Because there are times I'm not here, y'all. Just because y'all see me live and shit, there are times I'm not here. I'm doing whatever I got to do out, whatever the fuck, okay? So I said, hey, look, man, I want these books to go over there, brother. So you know. And he was like, yeah, he's on the res. It's not all the way 45 minutes away. It's only like 25. But he's over there, so I send it over there so that way it's safe with the dogs. They're not going to tear up the box. And that way, even if he's not there, he's working at the whatever, it's going to be with my Navajo brother. And the other ones are going to go to the post office, but I know that some of them are called Shore, whatever, where I got to go and meet them at 6 in the morning before they pull out because it's going to be sitting there at the UPS they're not going to bring it over to the post office. It's this new company that I've ordered a couple of books from. I ordered a lot of books from like 5 different bookstores. 2 are new. One I used once before some time ago, but you know, because the book popped up on that site, so I used it again. As you know, there's biblical, there's a whole lot of books, ad books, and you know, it's not just Amazon. I don't like always using Amazon because a lot of their books be kind of expensive. All right. So anyway, appreciate y'all taking the time to listen. Donating a couple of dollars is not going to kill you. I'm not Umar Johnson, who's going to make millions off of you. Stand up doing stage things with mics in my ear, you know, rivaling everybody to be the center of nobody's. Fuck that. I'm not here for that. I don't really care about most people. I don't. I'm like Jonah. I don't give a fuck about the majority of people. I really don't. They could start dropping them nukes right now and I would be out there clapping happy. I know that sounds fucking like madness. Well, so be it. I'm serious. I am so fucking serious. Okay? Until you show me otherwise. Right. Appreciate you guys. I'll be on about, because I'm going to eat about an hour and a half, so about 3:15. I'm going to come on over and I'm gonna read these books right here so I can show you. And yeah, later on, I want to come on about 6. It's going to be a late read, whether there's 2 people in here or not, so that way you can see it the next day. I'm going to read DNA of the Gods and the Wars of the Anunnaki. It's going to be fabulous because I'm going to read them in concordance. So we're going to get into the Negro Project, Behold the Pale Horse, Exposing the Exposition by Hadim Kuski for his 2019, and Heaven Bearers Part Deuce. I can't wait to get Part 3, The Age of Deception, okay? And some of you loathe and love the first one on the other page. We're going to read it over here. All right? Because they're not stopping the goddamn thing. Okay? They're not stopping shit. They got enough dumbasses, so let them have their dumbasses. All right? Don't y'all be the dumbasses. Let's come together. We got brothers and sisters who got land. Some of you will sit there and go, I don't know how to brick mason. I don't know how to, but I want to chip my nails in my synthetic weave. Man, I ain't going out there dirty up my motherfucking shoe. Get you some cowboy boots, niggas. Get some Carhartts. Stop worrying about washing your ass 24/7. You're going to stink anyway when it's all said and done. Get your ass in gear. Stop eating all this processed shit, going to these phony ass restaurants. God damn it. Either eat meat, eat vegetables, and a little bit of fruit. Get your fucking body right. Okay? Been on here an hour and 11, more than enough. And welcome anybody who's subscribed. I appreciate you guys. It's no hate. But sometimes we really have to learn how to listen, because when we start getting on heads and saying a lot, we never really learn how to talk to ourselves, and that can fuck us up. It's diabolical. All right? I know. I'm coming. Appreciate you guys. Sisters, y'all all, listen to me. Y'all all the fucking power. So be the light. Brothers, you are that strength that protects that power, right? They say covet, that's what the fuck we do to it. It belongs to us. See y'all at 3:30.